This could be the year that the Vancouver Canucks finally win the Stanley Cup, which is what we've been saying for like half a decade and may continue saying for the next half. I was on hand for the big gold medal party in 2010, and I get the feeling a cup party might actually be crazier, but in order to have one of those parties, they need to get by the minor obstacle of actually winning. So with the trade deadline looming, what do the Stanley Cup contending Vancouver Canucks have to do? There was a rumor about them getting Corey Perry a while back. Rumors about them getting Rick Nash were squashed. That actually could have been nice. Both were on the Canadian Olympic team in Vancouver. But I don't really understand the people who seem to think the Canucks need to make a big splash at the deadline. They stumbled out of the gate big time, but they've been top 5 in the NHL for a couple months now. And really the only way to get to that place is to have a good team, which includes having good chemistry. And usually that gets pretty complicated when you add a major piece and then have to gel within like a dozen games before the playoffs. Based on the performance the Canucks had in the playoffs last season, a little grit would help. Or at very least fight back when someone is speed bagging your top player. Or just trade for Brad Marchand. Can you imagine? No, I can't. And someone who fits that role with playoff experience, playoff success that may come at an affordable price, maybe a Travis Moen type. But grit aside, the Canucks made it to Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Finals, and they didn't get there by being wimps. And throughout the playoffs last season, even though the Canucks experienced some success, you know what they were really missing the whole time? Half their team. Ryan Kesler looked like the runaway Conn Smythe candidate for the first 2 rounds until he started falling down. He was too banged up. Manny Malhotra missed the majority of the playoffs and then came back with a full mask. Mason Raymond obviously missed a couple key games. And you can definitely throw Aaron Rome in that category too, although he was suspended. So, dare I say, the Canucks might have won the Stanley Cup last season if they were just a little bit healthier. And that certainly isn't to make excuses. Everyone has injuries. But what it does say is maybe they already have a team that's good enough to go all the way, so why tinker with it? It would be good for them to acquire maybe one more depth forward and one more depth defenseman with some playoff experience just to say, okay, we're safe. And then there's the issue of the goalies. Well, statistically, Roberto Luongo and Corey Schneider have been cartoonishly good. In fact, Luongo got injured earlier this season. Corey Schneider took over as a starter and was stellar, even playing some games after Luongo came back. And with an expiring contract, the Canucks run the risk of losing Corey Schneider forever for nothing in the summer. But if you really think you have a chance at the Cup, keep him. Because once upon a time when the Oilers came so close in 2006, it was on the shoulders of goalie Dwayne Rollison, who was having an amazing playoff. He gets hurt, so they turn to Ty Conklin. He gets hurt on the scoreboard anyway, so they turn to UC Markkanen. In 2011, the Canucks were 1 game away from winning the Stanley Cup, or 1 goal away from being eliminated in the first round. So given that history and how good they look on paper, it'll be very interesting to see what the Canucks do at the deadline. Just don't trade the Green Men, they're awesome.